Hello everybody, it is I, SuperMickey619 here with another video. I would like to point out, as you see on the next to the battle thing, it is known that I am not rich in this game. However, I have been playing this game for about 3 years, and I believe it is time for me to share my experience. Speaking of experience, it is very important to know that you can increase the experience of your crew members. Not a lot of people know this. I don't know why. I knew this kind of from the start of the game, but other people just don't. Now that does not, it's not of that important, but it can make the difference between life and death. You can increase like your weapon reloading, so like you can have, it's not very drastic, so you can have like a 5-second reload. It might bring it down. The most I've seen is like 3.5 seconds. But then again, that just happens to be on how much you increase the crew members reloading. For example, the tank loader, weapon reloading. There you go. No, thank you. Okay. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is know your crew members, increase the crew members thing. And from this point on, I'm going to start giving my advice. So, to know in this game, it's not all the Americans. Now, I know that I don't have a lot of planes in other countries. You can already see here. This one I'm just in the biplanes. This one I'm okay in it, pretty low tier. This one I kind of grinded a little bit a couple weeks ago, and this I just haven't even started. Italians, same thing with the Russians, and French, same thing with the Germans. But there's something that I have noticed playing this game. It's important to know, and just there's going to be a 2-part series. This one's just going to be on the planes and what you should pick. So people, they watch Red Tails and they're like, oh my god, I want a P-51 now. Hey, guess what? I got the P-51. I've accomplished my goal. Guess what, buddy? It's not all that. Just because you saw one of the characters, I forgot his name, do like some sort of snap weird roll, doesn't mean you're going to be able to do that. It's not the Americans aren't that maneuverable, being completely honest. You can't get in a dogfight with these things unless you're in a P-51 or an F-6F or just a naval plane in general. And just because the B-17 has a lot of guns, but the government thought like, hey, maybe we can have a group of B-17s just kick butt. Yeah, it's not the case. These things soak up bullets, but they go down incredibly easily. I should know after playing this game for 3 years that B-17s are meaty, good targets to kill. The gunners aren't meant to get the kills. The gunners are meant to ward off the person. Even Warthunder themselves, Gaijin, made it clear that the gunners aren't meant to get kills. They're more like meant to ward off the enemy, which is important to know. With that being said, I think the Americans work most with boom and zoom tactics, like the P-61. Good engines, and hey, 20mm cannons. It's probably a good thing. And it's being heavy, like the P-47, the F-6F, and the P-51. They're all good for booming and zooming. And if you don't know what that is, that's what do you call it? It's climbing up to a speed or climbing up to a height. Maybe higher than the bombers in an arcade spawn, or just higher than the bombers. You want to get higher than them. You want to look at targets below you and look for a solitary target, or one, like if there's a furball going on, look for who is looking easiest to kill. Go for him. Alright, you gotta make yourself you gotta get yourself in the best positions. That's probably the only way you're gonna win in this game, or not win, but succeed. You gotta make life easier on yourself. People, they think, oh yeah, look at this furball, I'm gonna go in a I don't know, an HE-1112, and they think they're gonna kick butt. It's not gonna work like that. You need to set yourself up for anything that could happen. So yeah, Americans are good for booming and zooming. Only the P-51 and sometimes the F-6F are good for or just naval planes are good for dogfights. This particular P-51, I like going into dogfights because I know it can at least last. Where's this other plane? The F-40, I think it's the F-40U, yeah. The F-40U-1s. The Corsairs, I like dogfighting in those just because they're okay to dogfight with. P-63s, really anything that starts with a P. I'm not gonna last long on that. I don't know about the jets. I'm not that advanced into the game yet after 3 years because I think of myself more as a flex, and I've been playing everything else. Now the Germans, same goes for them. BF-109s, I've gotten into a couple dogfights with them, but nothing too wow to say that, oh wow, yeah, they're actually very maneuverable. Like if we check it out right now, wouldn't you know it, 20 seconds turn time. Now that's okay. Is it great? Nah, not really. So yeah, same thing for them. Boom and zoom tactics. Make sure you discipline yourself, both on the Americans and Germans, to not get into dogfights. That's how you know you're not a disciplined pilot. If you do a boom and zoom, next thing you know, you start actually getting to the dogfight. That's how you get yourself a guaranteed wing clip, pilot snipe, or tail just happened to fall off, or engine died. Many bad things can happen when you do that, because one, your pilot can't take that many G's. Next thing you know, you're just lost control. You're going into the air. Guess what? That Spitfire or that lucky A6M2 just decides to shoot you. Next thing you know, you got a wing clip. And that's how it works when you're not disciplined enough. So make sure you really do that to yourself, where you discipline yourself to the point where you don't fall for little things like that. Up next, we have the Russians. I would say the same thing for them. I would say the I-16 and the I-15 are really good maneuverable planes. I get into dogfights with them a lot, and wouldn't you know it, they're actually pretty decent. I-18s, they're not really for the dogfighting type. I can't say how many times I've killed an I-18 because they just happen to light on fire so easily. They're not really, I would say boom and zoom for them. Let's see, the British, these guys, they can dogfight. Now their engines are okay. It's a very decent lineup that I would go with. I played the British first, and then I moved to the Americans because I just happen to be like that. I don't know why. I'm a flex. I like to say I flex with every little nation. I play with them. Anyways, but what I've noticed is that with the British, they are a very, very good lineup, especially in low tier like this. They are very maneuverable. They get the cannons first. And wouldn't you know it, they have a pretty decent engine. Not at the Spitfire Mark 1A, but once you start going to like this one, the Spitfire Mark I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume it's a Spitfire Mark 11. I don't know my Roman numerals. Excuse me if that's incorrect. But anyways, this plane, I like it a lot. It has more ammo in it, just in case you guys are all like, oh my god, the Spitfires don't have enough cannon ammo. Relax, my friend. Once you get enough RP, you'll be blessed. You get almost twice as much. You get 120 here, bam. You want more? Here we go, twice. There you go. And the 7.7s in this plane actually aren't that bad. Next we go to the Japanese. These guys, I don't have much plans for them, except for this one. But what I can tell you, though, is dogfighting them. They are the king of dogfighters. They can dogfight, actually. Don't know why they didn't win the Pacific War, but I'm just gonna leave it off to strategy. I'm not very much of a history junkie when it comes to that theater of World War II. These guys, I don't ever recommend booming and zooming. Never would I ever do it unless you have a Key 61 or a solely based bomber interceptor. In this plane, maybe it's worth getting a couple or a little bit of altitude, but never ever do a boom and zoom, because that's just a guaranteed wing clip. These planes weren't very sturdy as a P-51 or an Italian plane. No, these things never do that. I would say dogfight, know your realm. You're like a mid-altitude fighter when you're in this kind of plane. So keep that in mind when you're playing this game. If you ever encounter one. The best way to counter these is to have the height advantage, boom and zoom. Use that to their weakness. And for defense, I'll be making a maneuvers video so that you would know. It wouldn't be in the Japanese plane though, because I'm not gonna do that. It'd be a waste of time. There would be too much time for me to get that maneuvers video out. Now the Italians and French, these guys almost came out very close to each other. I might as well say they came out at the same time. The Italian planes, I like them a lot. However, I must say that in the early ranks, when it comes to like shooting, you're gonna need to lead a lot more ahead of that lead angle indicator if you're an arcade player, because these things, the velocity on the guns aren't that fast. I'm being straight honest with you. But once you get to this C202, it is a great plane. Look at that, 12.7s and 20 mils, and that's just 500 rounds in 2 of those cannons. That's like a blessing. That's more than the Spitfires in this kind of rank. They're okay planes. They can take a little bit of a beating, but I wouldn't recommend testing your plane out and that sort of thing. The bombers, it's alright for an early tier. This one, it can get you a kill occasionally, especially for the low ranked, but I wouldn't depend on it. Let's go to the aviation on this part. I say just try it out. The fighters are definitely worth the grind. I think they're really good. Let's go to the French. The French, I haven't had much experience with them, fighting them or playing with them. However, I can say they are a force to be reckoned with. It's a 77.5 millimeter, but you never know. These things, they end up shooting you up. Now, knowing that I have not played this era or section of planes, let me try it out. Let me check it out. So this one's 20 mils and 7.5s. Now this looks like something else. This is 21 seconds. I wouldn't kinda play that, at least for a while. Cause see what ended up happening, Warthunder made a video on this where they just wanted planes and people just started sending them in and then getting a little money out of it, and it's just so many random planes. But test your luck on this. You might have better luck than me, and see where this goes. This one just falls into its own category. I don't know what to say about it. It has a couple American planes, which I already talked about that, but see where it falls in for you. I can't really say too much about this. I can't say much for the bombers, but I like the low tier. It's very good. It suits my style of play, which is like a dogfighter kind of guy. And I believe that will conclude it for today's video of picking your nation. I will do one for tanks, but I can't guarantee that to be out as soon as this one is out. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be bringing a dog fighting scenario kind of deal that will be happening. So make sure you leave a like on this video. I hope this helped you decently. I hope you guys got something out of this and use this information to your benefit. Trust me, it does help. It helped me. After playing this game for 3 years, I was like, oh shoot, what is this? I'm so confused. So hopefully this helps you out picking your plane. I'll be coming out with another one for you advanced players such as me. So see you guys on the flip side, and then once again, it is I, the cheesiest nacho, signing out.